'06 Chevy Silverado, continuing on the suspension work. Okay, I want to show you a couple things today as I'm putting the hub assembly and the rotor to the knuckle. And let me give you first off this part number in case you're looking to replace these, 947-016. This is the brake dust shield, new ones. And as I explained in a couple of my earlier videos, you really have to pay particular attention because a lot of the fitment shows a 4-hole version. That's not accurate, so pay attention to what you're ordering. You need that 3-hole version because the knuckle here on this '06 Chevy Vin T is a 3-bolt pattern. Now, when you're installing this, you'll have to pay particular attention the way this attaches to the back of the hub assembly. And I want to show you that. Essentially, you'll be using the model number, item number, will actually be facing the back side of your rotor, or basically your hub assembly will be going in from this side. And also pay particular attention to orientation, the way this has to be installed now. Remember, your whole caliper sits here, so you can't have that dust shield here or you're not going to be able to install your caliper. So that dust shield covers half of a section, a good half of a section, but it's at an angle. It's sliced downward on the opposite side of where that caliper is, because you have the caliper sitting here, so that naturally the shield covers the rest of the rotor there. Now this should be smooth as butter when you're putting these in, because I mean you should be able to pretty much hand thread these, and if you don't force these. These are going to be torqued at pretty heavy torque settings. So but anyway, you saw it again in the earlier video how I used a T30 and married the rotor to the hub assembly. I put the brake dust shield on at this point. I also pay particular attention now how you run that ABS wire sensor. It's going to come out and it's going to feed back up here. So you got to make sure you get that in properly. So it has a feed point, and you see your distance of where you got to go. You got to go up here and plug it in. So you got to make sure I'm over on the driver's side, and I use that brake point, feed point back here to bring it out. You can see in one of the openings, so I can feed it up. It doesn't get pinched or anything. You can't put it over on this side, again, because that caliper and all is going to be sitting here. So it'd be right in the way. So hopefully I'm clear and you're following what we're doing. But here's those points where that caliper gets attached. So I'm going to tighten this down. Then I can slide that caliper on in another video and finish this out. So I'm almost finished with this driver's side complete suspension rework. I'm very close to being finished, but I wanted to capture this and put it also on a video. Okay. All right, now notice that when I'm putting this in, I'm not torquing, or I'm not bolting this all the way on any one side. I'm moving around because I want this to be perfectly centered. So I do a couple of strokes on one, I move to the next. I'm gradually seating that hub in the knuckle. So work yourself around, don't get in a big rush. Then when they're all completely seated, then you're ready to do your torque settings. But you can see now it's still pulling in down here. So you want this thing, now this thing, when it's, okay, now with all them snugged in, now all three, this thing should glide easily, no problem. So I've got them just snugged in. They're not torqued yet. You can see now the brake dust shield back here. You see the rotor. The hub is inset now into the knuckle with the 3 bolts. I'm ready to install the caliper, which will sit here, and I have 2 new bolts with a Loctite for the caliper. All right, here's my ABS line again coming across here. My brake line will come across. I'll put that bracket back in and it'll attach the ABS and the brake line. Okay, so using your torque wrench, Those three are torqued at 133 foot-pounds. And I've just torqued all three of them. So I'm moving on to the next step now.